Hello friends, welcome to this GD Test Automation channel. Myself is Girish. In this today's session, we will try to understand the different Docker network commands. In this overall session, we will create one network. Once we create the network, we will see how we can utilize that network and add the new containers into it, and we will also take a look that how we can add the existing running containers, how we can attach to the newly created network with connect command. Then we will see how we can detach it, and then some more commands related to the network, like how we can remove the network if we don't want to use it, and how we will also try to run the prune command, which will be used to remove all the unused networks. So we will try to focus on all the network commands in this session. So let's get started. So I'm just going over to the terminal. Okay, so let's see what are the different options available with this network. So I will run the Docker network help option. Let's hit the help option first to see what are the different options available with this Docker network commands. So first command is basically a connect, which is used to connect to the given network. So first of all, we have to create the network. So once we create the network, then if you have any existing container which is in the running state, you can attach it to the network. And if you don't want that a particular container which is a part of the network, and you want to disconnect it from that network, you have to use disconnect command. And we will see how we can use the inspect, because that is the way we can use this option to see that is the network, is the container, whatever is the existing or new one, is a part of the given network or not. And ls is of course the same command option that we have seen in with the other Docker commands, which is used to list the all the networks. And then we will see how we can remove it, and the prune option to remove all the unused networks. So let's do it one by one. So I will first of all list all the networks which are available in my this host. So I will use the sudo docker network ls. So by default, once you install the Docker, you will always find these three types of bridges, or three types of networks, I would say: the bridge, host, and the none. And if you want to create your own, then you have to use the create option of the network command. So let's create one. Now you must be thinking, like, why we should be creating the networks, like why not use the existing or default networks. These network, you need to create the network if you want to keep your containers in a isolation mode, like you have a couple of containers and you want those containers should be isolated from rest all of the containers, and still you want the couple of containers they should communicate with each other. So if you want to create a kind of a isolation network, then this is the best way to do this. So let me create the new network for demonstration purpose. So sudo docker network. So I want to use the create the network, so you have to use create option. So what name you want to assign? Say I want to assign the name as my network. Say my network. So looks like it is being created now. So let's see, sudo docker network ls. So earlier you have seen that there were three networks or bridge. Now we have one more network named as my network. Now we will just try to see how many containers are there. We should not be seeing any container inside this particular network. So for that we have to use the inspect command. So what command we have covered so far? We had seen the list command to list all the networks, and we have created the new network. How we can do this? That is the docker network create and the network name, and if you want to inspect it, you would use the inspect option. So let's run this. So sudo docker network inspect, then you have to give the network name, that is my network. So as you can see over here, that it is showing the containers is the null. So we don't have the any containers, so it is empty. Now let us create one new container, and while creating or spinning up the new container, we want to include this container should be directly be the part of this network, which is named as in my network. So let's do that. So let me clear this screen. So sudo docker run, where you use the run option because it will automatically create the container out of the image, and it will also start the container. So we want what name you want to assign. So we will use the typical one, that is the my busy box. Say my busy box 1, and we want to run in a detached mode, and we want to give the interactive shell option also. So, and if you want to create this docker and want to include as a part of this network, so you have to use the net option. So I will use the hyphen net. Then you have to give the option, like as you can see over here in the syntax, that hyphen net. Then you have to give the network name. So I will get the network as the my network, and you want to create this particular image, this container from which image? I want to create it from busy box only, and what options you want to provide. So I will provide the shell as an option. So let's see. So it should be a single hyphen here. The container name busybox is already in use, so let me give the different name. So I will give the, say, my busybox, say 5. Okay, so this is basically the overall command, that is the sudo docker run. Then we have given the name as the my busybox 5, and we had run this in a detached mode, and we are given the interactive options, and we included this particular newly created container as a part of the my network. So we'll just see is this particular container is created or not. So sudo docker container ls -a option. So as you can see over here, that my busy box 5, it is being created from, and it's being up and running from last 41 seconds. So let's use the command sudo docker network inspect, and we want to inspect our network, which is my network. Earlier we had seen the containers node was empty, but this time you see that there is a one container named as in my busy box 5 is now up and running, and it is the part of this particular network, and it has an IP of the 172.23.0.2. So this is how you can spin up a new container from the image, and directly you can put it into the desired network. So what is exactly is the syntax is this is a main option that we should be knowing, that is the hyphen net. Now let's see how we can include the existing running containers as a part of this particular network. So let me create the one container, say my busybox6, and this time I'm not giving the net option. So this is the command I'm using, that Pseudo Docker Run, and I want to give the name to the my busybox6 from busybox in interactive mode. Okay, and so if you don't specify the network option, by default it will be created into the default bridge, default network. So we will just double check it with the inspect command by inspecting the my network. So still you will see that only the one container is available. So now how we can include this particular container, which one? That is the my busybox6. So let me double check this. Say sudo docker container ls. Hey, so you can see that this busybox6 is now up and running from last 29 seconds. So we will include this, or change the network settings, and we will include this particular container as a part of the my network. So how you can do this? So you have to use the sudo docker network. We want to use the connect option. Okay, we had seen the list option, we had seen the inspect option, now we are using the connect option. So sudo docker network connect. Now where you want to connect, say my network, and which container you want to attach, say busybox, say 6. So as you can see, it's done. So let me double check with this inspect command, inspect my network. So earlier we had seen there was only a one container linked with this particular network, that is my busybox5. Now we have one more, my busybox6, and it has an address of the 23.0.3. Now both these containers can communicate to each other. Now how they can communicate to each other? So we will just double check it, but we will just ping the one container from the another. So we will just try to attach to the container. So we will use the sudo docker execute command in an interactive mode, and which container you want to attach. So my busybox says we will go to the 6. Okay, so 6 has the IP of 3. As you can see over here, it has an IP of 3, this one, and from this we will ping this particular IP. Okay, so now I will just ping 172.23.0.2. So we are at the my busybox6 and we are pinging the my busybox5. So as you can see, it's working, means both the containers can communicate with each other because they are in the same network. So I will just come out of this and inspect it. So still you have this one. Now I just wanted to show you the difference between this execute command and the attach command. Attach command is basically used to attach to the container, but once you will exit out of it, it will be automatically disconnected. So let's do that. So sudo docker, say sudo docker attach. So which container you want to attach? Say I want to attach, say, my busy box, say 5. Sorry, my busy box 5. So from this 5 we can ping the 6 also. So we will use the ping 172.23.0.3. So as you can see, it's working. Now once you run the exit command, and after that sorry after that, if you run the inspect command, then you won't find the my busy box 5, because we had exited from the my busy box 5. So this is the difference. I just wanted to show you that if you connect to the container with the execute, then still it will be up and running. But if you attach it and after that if you do the exit, then it will be in the exited state and automatically it will be removed from the network. So I hope you must have understood the difference between these two commands, that is the docker attach and the execute. Now how we can disconnect the particular container explicitly? So we have to use a disconnect option of network command. So far we have only one container which is a part of this particular network, that is the my network. So we want to explicitly disconnect that. So I have to use the sudo docker network disconnect. So which one you want to disconnect? I want to disconnect this one, that is the my busy box 6. It should work. Sudo docker network. Okay, so you have to give the network name also, that is the my network. This is basically the syntax, sorry. That is the sudo docker network disconnect, and then you have to mention the network name, and then you have to mention the container name. So earlier I just mentioned directly the container name, but it belongs to which network, that also we have to mention. So looks like it is being now removed. We will double check it with the inspect command. So we will use the sudo docker network inspect my network. So as you can see, this is now the empty one. Okay. Now we don't want the network itself. So miss this bridge itself. So sudo docker network ls. Now we don't want this my network. So how we can do this? How we can remove this? Sudo docker network, here to use the rm command and give the network name. So looks like it is being removed. Now we will use the ls. So as you can see, we don't have this particular network, so you have to use the rm option. Now prune option is used like if you want to remove all the unused networks, you have to use this last option, that is the prune. Now I don't have any unused, so let me create a couple of them. So sudo docker network create, say abc. Let me create the another one, say xyz. Sudo docker network and ls. Sudo docker network ls. Now we want to remove all the unused networks, so you have to use the docker network prune. It will give you the warning, are you sure you want to do this operation? Say why. So it will remove the both the networks, that is the ABC and XYZ, which are not being in used. So we will now get the our default bridge or networks, that is the bridge, host and the none. So far means we have learned about the ls option, we have learned about the connect option, disconnect, and of course we have used the inspect option of the network to inspect the network details, and you can use rm to remove it, and if you want to remove all unused, then you can use this. And we had also seen the difference between the attach and the execute command. So I hope you will find this video useful. Please, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe my channel to see such more videos. So that's pretty much I have for this video. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.